Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Challenger 2023 Summer. I'm Atlas, joined by Wolf here today as we bring you two glorious best-of-3 series that could not be better. So good, we have in fact bought some bros from the LCK to kick us off. Absolutely fantastic stuff.
Chorus and Effort are going to be playing in challenges, so it should be fun to see how they perform. Of course, is Ivory better than Chorus? Is he getting pulled up to the LCK? We don't know officially. We will know tomorrow. We don't know yet.
Yeah, and maybe it's because, you know, Azir got some buffs and some help, and maybe Karis needs to test it out in Challenger before he can bust it out in the LCK. We don't necessarily know whether this is a swap for this week, but it does kind of lead us to make some assumptions in that department. So make sure that you're checking out the LCK to see whether we are going to have some Ivory in the mid lane or not.
Would be pretty interesting to see. And let's see how Karis plays today, because he's been having a really rough time in the LCK. No real way to sugarcoat it. We actually spent a lot of time talking about it in Pog State as well, which will be coming out late tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm looking forward to seeing how today's matches go. I do think we have two matches that will probably be one-sided, but it is Challenger, so you never know. And I wasn't able to catch the games yesterday, but I did see the drafts. I saw the Sin Lee Sin. I saw the Belveth coming through. It didn't do very well. I don't know if that's really patch indicative or more Challengers indicative. Maybe we'll learn something a little bit more here today before we go into LCK.
Yeah, we could potentially. I watched the majority of the games yesterday, although I missed the one interesting one, which was the Lee Sin. I came back and apparently Lee Sin support had been played. So that was cool. It's good to know. I think that was a little bit of a team diff type issue in that particular game. So we'll just have to see whether today is going to be a little bit more competitive, because if so, then maybe we'll see whether the patch has changed things. The one thing that we've seen so far on the patch, though, is that the Aphelios priority remains unchanged, and no one's really discovered yet that Zeri is completely busted, and she keeps getting through. And we did see her lose. She was at the mercy of the Lee Sin support, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
it was also a Belveth draft, Ghost Belveth.
Yeah.
So at a bit of a team diff, like you mentioned. So I don't know how indicative that is of Zeri's power level. Triforce nerfed, so you know, maybe that's maybe it helps a little bit, maybe a little bit, just like maybe a little bit. Like I'm really hoping.
When it came to Jiwoo Zeri, then yeah, I guess maybe it may have worked. Let's have a look at the standings here. D+ Kia yet to drop a game already. DRX in the same boat, so our standings actually shaken out to be very similar to what they were last year. Of course, during the regular season, DRX were a little bit higher, but at the very beginning, D+ Kia did look like the strongest team. The thing for me that's the most cathartic, Wolf, is the fact that T1's Challenger team is in 7th place, where they belong.
Yeah, they did kind of trick us a little bit last season. At least they tricked me. I was like, oh, wait, are they actually maybe, like, they're strong? And they had that one really good series where they came with some good strategies and good execution, then fell on their face, unfortunately, in the following series and didn't go to the finals or anything like that. They also don't have Bay, and it shows. Weirdly, you know, I've never been the biggest Bay fan, but he was quite important to the roster, I think. So yeah, we'll see how they do, but not the greatest start so far here in halfway through week 2.
Yeah, and today's matchup, as you can see on your screen, the Bros going to be taking on Live Sandbox here in our first match. Live Sandbox looked horrendous, and Bro managed to come out with a victory against a Humble Life Esports that then completely trashed T1 yesterday. So we're not entirely sure as to the power level of Bro, but also they brought up and down and switched around a whole bunch of players, so who really knows? We don't really know what to expect there. Gen.G versus KT. KT should win. That's pretty much what we're thinking here.
That's the expectation. KT sitting on 1-1 right now. We'll see if they can move the momentum forward here, as I think the 1-1 scoreline isn't really indicative of their power level at this moment in time. Although, not having the same sort of banger start that they did in spring. And I look at Bro today, I'm like, well, it isn't even, like you said, it's not even the same Bro we saw actually taking that upset win over Hanwha, so it's really just hard to judge, but I think that the sad truth is Live Sandbox looks to be potentially our strongest, or rather, excuse me, weakest team in the LCK Challengers here for summer, so the expectation is they will continue to struggle. A lot of potential on this roster, a lot of really young players, but maybe if it starts somewhere, maybe it starts here tonight.
Yep, and it's a whole bunch of 4th place teams versus a 9th place team. is sort of what we're seeing here. We've got ties between Bro, T1, and Gen.G right now. Sorry,
KT
Bro,
roster.
KT,
Yeah.
and Gen.G. T1 on the mind after their loss yesterday. But here we are, into our first series. Bro taking on Live Sandbox. Frim, Raptor, Karis, Enosh, and Effort. Gyosu is not going to be playing here today. Neither is Ivory. And we have some LCK talent. Like, isn't it insane that Effort, a guy on like a world championship team, is now playing in Challenger alongside Raptor?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a crazy time to be alive, Wolf.
It really is. It's not the career trajectory you're looking for, but it's certainly an opportunity for these players to prove that they're still a tier above challengers, or they may fail here and actually we realize maybe they are the challengers players after all, and Ivory is going to get called up. I mean, Ivory really the player I'm most focused on here in terms of these potential call-ups, so we'll find out if they're happening or not tomorrow, just because Karis has been weirdly enough a bigger liability than Effort has been so far in week 1 of LCK. And I don't want to focus on all the negatives, but for Breon, it has been a really rough start. And honestly, the worst start I think they've had since franchising came in.
Yeah, and apparently, Match Atlas, question mark. I'm a little bit confused. Leprecoco, you'll have to explain as to what you mean. Not Match. I'm actually really excited. And I'm pretty keen to see whether Karis can regain his mantle, because he was a Challenger MVP. The reason why he was called up to the LCK and got a start in his professional career on the main stage was because of how well he played Lissandra. I mean, how well he played the mid lane. He was absolutely fantastic during that season a couple of years ago. So hoping that now that he's back in his natural habitat, everything's going to be all right. Dive up towards that top side, Vincenzo in the jungle, Goody, Diablo, and Plan B. It's going to be your Live Sandbox roster, and the problem is that like nothing's changed, and it feels like they're just not as good, which is a bit sad.
Yeah.
Although I guess they weren't that good in spring.
It's honestly true, right? They weren't that great, but Diablo had his moments. Guti did upset win over Pulbe on that flanking game we like to joke about a lot in the LCK. Some say he's still flanking on Akali today, but yeah, he's had his moments, but it has obviously been a team that we're a little bit disappointed with that they didn't level up. Like every other Challengers team kind of slowly got better. Getting better doesn't necessarily mean you're moving up in the standings, because all the teams are getting better, right? But Live Sandbox didn't move up the standings, didn't actually seem to improve that much. So hoping to see that change. It's still early days here.
Yeah, and we're early days into the draft as well. Bro going to be on our blue side, Live Sandbox on the red. Cassante already banned away. Homework being done here in this draft. Love to see it. Vi also taken off the board. There's the Nico ban. Melio to follow up. Zeri last ban. Is it going to be optimal? Optimal red side bans, Wolf?
I'm guessing so.
No, it's not going to be. Because they'll ban like something weird and we'll be sad.
Maokai probably needs a look here. I think he's pretty strong.
Ooh, Gwen.
That is
ban Cassante and Gwen.
And then pick Sion on blue side, question mark?
First pick Sion?
Very strange choice, but let's see what they do end up going with, because may kind of make more sense later. It may not. It's Challengers. It doesn't always have to make sense. But what I would like to see is, either a Yuumi or a Zeri. Would have preferred the Zeri. Yuumi, I'll take it. And it weakens the Zeri quite significantly. But this is that Maokai I was talking about. The reason why they didn't ban it is because they wanted to first pick it here for Raptor.
The mystical tree towards that top side of the map. Let's see what kind of secrets he can uncover from beyond the veil. There's Sejuani and Lucian being considered here for Live Sandbox. Pretty cute that they're locking in the Lucian. Love that. Bro gonna lock in Zeri Lulu, and we're gonna be very upset with the Lucian Nami Zeri Lulu. What do you think?
I think it's gonna be Aphelios.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Although I don't really like him.
Aphelios Lulu? I haven't seen that one in a while. Yumi's banned, so that's the good thing is we're not going to see Aphelios Yumi, which I'm not a huge fan of at all.
Yeah, that hasn't really been working, has it?
So, we've seen this one before. We've seen this one a lot. But it's got a Maokai with it, so There's a lot of ways to punish the Lucian in the early game here for Bro.
Yep. Ooh, there's going to be a tree in the forest, and Raptor could be at the Raptors.
It's true.
Isn't that cool? That is
Yeah.
actually so cool. I hope that we can zoom in whenever Maokai takes the Raptors, because that's a lot of trees and Raptors, guys.
Yeah. Well, we'll see some AD mid bans here. Tristana, the first to be taken off the board. And we might see even like a Yone ban coming through.
Yundo says, okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Yundo.
Okay, we got it.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks for listening.
Tristana Na, and what is going to be another one of these mid lane bans that could come through? Goody, I think possibly protecting what could be a Ari pickup, an Annie pickup, any of those sorts of things I think would be absolutely fine.
I think that's definitely what he's probably fishing for. The Gnar ban makes it seem like Frim wants to play Gragas. We'll see if Live Sandbox are going to either pick that away, which seems unlikely because Annie's still available, or if they're going to ban it here.
Okay, Kevin Kim.
Scion, okay.
Okay, Savings Bank Breon are going to choose some champions pretty soon, but first, they're going to ban one. Okay, Savings Bank Breon would like to ban the Jace, and they will do so.
Yeah, so let's see if that Annie's going to come through here. They already have a great comp setup, but the Gragas is actually going to be chosen. Gnar was banned away. They're like, cool, we'll take that. Thank you very much. And Scion taken off the board here as well with the Gwen ban there. It was still a strong pick here for Breon. Or excuse me, for OK Savings Bank Breon.
Yeah, okay, Savings Bank Breon.
Sorry,
yes.
Kevin.
Yeah, yeah. Make sure that make sure that Kevin is happy with what's going on here. He does actually sponsor the broadcast, so we need to listen to him. Ari going to be picked up, and I'm a bit sad. I just thought that it was time for Karis to experiment with
The
more
new
Azir.
Azir, yeah. maybe not in game one. Maybe we'll see it later. As Renekton, this is something I thought about when I saw the Gwen ban earlier. I was like, maybe they're going to play Renekton. It's stronger on this patch. He got some buffs to his cooldowns and his ultimate. But,
True, there it is.
you know, it's not significant changes, I would say, but does make him stronger, obviously, albeit slightly. And Silas? No, Guti on Azir.
Just do it.
By the
Don't
way,
be
this
scared.
is like Guti's worst pick, basically. he did win that one famous game where Pulbe was flanking, but that is it. I think he's like 1 in 10.
Oh man, they're locking it in. This feels personal, Wolf.
Yeah.
This feels like an okay man bro situation, not an okay savings bank situation.
No, yeah, I think you summed it up very nicely there. So we'll be, of course, the Ari in the mid lane, Renekton on the top side of the map here. And with the Maokai Ari, the Azir is very fragile in the early levels. It's Sejuani Azir, so there is some old synergy post 6 where you could try to make a play on Ari, but she's just so mobile that it's difficult to gank her. With the fact that also, you know, there's a Lulu in the game here, I just like the draft for Breon so much better. They have ways to shut down this low-range Lucian with the Renekton and the Wild Growth, so would you kind of put everything together? The Azir is kind of a question mark here for Liz Sandbox. They have really good engage and setup for the Lucian, but if they use it aggressively and they come up with nothing, then it's really easy for Breon to just turn fights and punish super hard.
I agree. I do feel like the Live Sandbox comp is more cohesive. Something about like double magic damage out of the jungle mid that I don't really like that much, although Sejuani Azir is kind of similar, but they do have that ult synergy that kind of works out. Ari, very single target. Maokai, very AoE. Renekton, very Renekton. And Aphelios, low range, so can capitalize, but they don't have anything that's higher range at all. They have almost zero engage outside of a Nature's Grasp, which often is used as follow-up to some other kind of CC, so you don't just have them wander away from it and then be okay, because they will have Sejuani to stand in front and things like that. I think Live Sandbox have so much of an ability to dictate the pace of this game with Tidal Wave, Glacial Prison, Cask, like even Emperor's Divide from Azir can be used to start fights. Like, they have so many options.
I think they really need to get this early game going, though, and I think Guti needs to win lane. I do think we're going to have to see a strong performance individually from these players, and then yes, that synergy will be relevant, you know, with what the composition is looking to do.
Yeah, and now it is time to get onto the riff for game number 1. Oh, heck
I
yeah.
have really leveled up this
You have.
season.
You-
I'm like, I was messing it up every time. I'm like kind of on it right now, though.
No, you're like KT, man. You just get better in summer. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how it works. It needs to be warmed up, and it is definitely warming up here in Korea, and it's only going to get worse as time goes on.
I looked at the weather today, and I mean, not today's weather, but the forecast for like when is it going to get hot, and it was like pretty clearly about in the middle of this coming week, and I'm like,
oh god,
it's going to be like 32 degrees. It's going to be sweaty. It's going to be ugly. It's not going to be cloudy either, so you're just going to be having that sun right on top of you.
oh god.
And I'm not going to be at the beach, you know. I'm going to be on my way to work.
You know what I'm going to be? I'm going to be in my air conditioning for as long as possible, and then a very short walk to the train station, and then to work that is also air conditioned. That's what I'm doing. I'm traveling from air conditioning.
We
to air
are going to be
conditioning.
spending a lot of time in air-conditioned studios
Yeah.
away from the sun.
And thankfully, right now, WDG, glorious little air-conditioned studio that we have here. Yes, there are some blaring lights. However, there is our own personal aircon, and we are just loving it. The opposite of Toasty up in here. As Plan B taking a little bit of damage here from Effort. Look at that, showing his LCK prowess. Did you see that? I don't think a challenger support could have Little Ants like that.
No, certainly not.
Especially when he didn't take Little Ants, and I think it was a health picks, but never
Yeah,
mind.
I think it was a pix, actually. I think you're right. But look,
Yeah,
the
there it
Airy is rocking. We're doing some damage. Aphelios using the Caliber
Again?
range.
Look at this guy.
And B's going to have to chug some consumables.
Yeah, I want to know, look, he might have to go back to Plan A.
Look at that.
Given
The
that-
damage
Oh
is
my-
real.
Look at that double value with the double Glitterlance Wolf. What does it even mean?
The Aries just pass by each other.
Okay, Enoch getting some work done here. Is Effort. Okay, that's a little bit more on speed. As Vincenzo making his way forward. Karis moving quickly after throwing out that Orb of Deception and will be A-OK. As Goody just using Karis's champion against him.
Yeah, it's really hard to make anything happen pre-6 for the Azir and the Sejuani unless Karis is really messing up and really playing disrespectfully. I think the same could be said, of course, of the Maokai, and I do agree. There's not a lot of great synergy between Ahri and Maokai in the early levels when Ahri doesn't have that much damage. Even if you double CC, like, Goody can just shuffle away and be fine. So you need level 6 really to actually have that additional layer of CC, I think, to get a kill. He's trading very nicely, though, here so far in the lane.
Yep, putting on the pressure. Like to see it. I do want to say that Yundo let us down. We didn't watch Raptor
Oh, yeah, I was
in the forest
promised.
as the forest at the Raptors, taking the Raptors for the first time around. Either he's not the one actually...
Show a replay of it and confuse the Korean casters.
that would actually just be the best if we
The
could
Korean
do that.
casters like, wait, did he make a mistake? Like, what's going on? They're like checking his flash. They're like, I mean, maybe he could have queued a little bit more efficiently. Like,
Yeah. No, I'm just a little bit sad. I'm disappointed. And I had such high hope. Oh, there we go, there we go! Oh my god, it's Raptor at the Raptors taking their... Oh, it's glorious. Okay, he's redeemed. 100% redeemed. Effort, 150 health.
saved.
Oh, glorious. Absolutely incredible. Have I told you just how much I love Yundo and how incredible he is at every facet of his job?
Yeah.
Oh, he's just extraordinary.
He's great,
Yeah.
man.
He should be hired by everyone ever, although not, because we need him to stay here.
Yeah,
But
just
still,
hired
he's
by
just the
everyone that
best.
we work with only.
Yeah, yeah. Or hired by other things when he's not required at the LCK. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Plan B related to Doinby? No, because he's part of the plan. Doinby's part of the Doin. It's different.
Yeah. It's my favorite cut of meat.
They are secondaries of whatever they are. I think. I'm not sure what a Doin is though. All right. Frim just doing a bit of damage. Dahyuk here. Dahyuk making a bit of a sound of his own name. Do you reckon his name is an onomatopoeia, Wolf?
Yeah, maybe.
No?
I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure.
I'm
I have a
actually
feeling
not,
it's
like-
completely not.
It's probably not, but his name is Minhyuk, so it's actually
Aha.
probably related to his name in some way.
I would say that that's probably true. It's like a Yahoo situation.
Yeah. I try not to think about the Yahoo situation.
Going to connect here is Diablo, doing a lot of damage here to Effort. Effort in somewhat trouble, you could say.
Yeah, that was a troubling scenario, no doubt.
Some real Banjo-Kazooie vibes. That's the Dahyuk.
No, I literally always think about Banjo when I read his name.
And then you think of Kazooie, and then you think of Bottles, and you're like, Bottles had
rest in
the
peace.
best. He had the best voice. It was so good. Didn't he have the
Wait,
same
you don't like
voice when he was
Grunty?
Ghost Bottles? Yeah, that's true. Like, Grunty's pretty good. Ooh, Bubble. Will connect here onto Enosh, trying to get some damage back onto Diablo here as they're looking to fight this one out. They do have jungle support coming on down as Enosh not wanting to get baited in here as Effort has an idea of what's going on. And here we go. Winter's Wrath going to come forward. Enosh already flashed. Effort going to do the same. Misses the Glitter Lance. And now with no flashes or anything else, they're going to have to go home.
Did he actually? No, he didn't have a ward, like Enosh, to actually ward that brush. I'm not entirely sure why he wanted to go up into that brush towards, I guess so they couldn't see him, but they weren't going to go, they weren't going to push that far into that. That was a bit bizarre.
Ooh, it's Raptor with the Raptors as a forest in the forest. Raptor, forest.
2 for 3. Yeah.
I do have to deviate from the video game just for a moment here, because Hard Zombie has a question for me. He's asking whether I should pull for Silverwolf's E1. And there was a fantastic video. I can't remember what the guy's name was who brought it out, but you could look up some Silverwolf guides. He has a few things to say about E1 being a little overrated. A lot of people think that E1 and E2 is extraordinarily powerful, but I don't think you necessarily need them, especially if you're using her as a support just to get the defense down and all of those sorts of things, adding the weakness and stuff like that. So
I like it when Atlas speaks English on the show. It's really weird when he speaks this language. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I guess we're global commentators, not English commentators, you know?
You know, sometimes you just got to answer the questions that are thrown to you in chat, you know? And that's how it goes. And yes, this is probably the most informative that I've ever been on a Challenger stream.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Hard Zombie. Make sure that you check that one out. Now, back to your regularly scheduled Karis in Challenger.
So, despite the summoners being blown there on the bottom side for Enosh and Effort, they're still able to come down here and take this Drake. So, one Drake lead here. We have Chemtech coming through as a regular Drake, not Soul. So that's always a good thing. That's always a good sign.
We've got, like, most likely an amazing Soul. Like, it's just like, if it's not Ocean, we are just vibing.
Yeah, and Ocean is actually really bad in this game for both of these teams. It's not helpful at all. So yeah, not going to be great if that actually comes to pass. So I think he probably just cursed it. So we'll just leave that. We'll thank you for that one.
Looking forward to the Ocean.
Yeah,
but I mean, it is the prettiest rift, you know. So you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually really good for Breon with the Ahri and the Renekton. If it is Ocean Rift, I guess, to potentially set some traps if they have the...
Yep, and you've got saplings, so you're not as affected by it, because you get on-demand vision, kind of like that.
Are they just going to get both objectives here? Or Live Sandbox just going to let it happen? Diehug doesn't have teleport, he just backed here. There's a control ward in this, so Raptor's like, yeah, I mean, you guys have the scuttle, but I'm just going to take this, and there's no way to contest.
I think he might have even avoided vision there. You saw him started off with the sapling and then twisted advance over the wall. So it might just be that they had no idea that this was even happening, as Raptor with sapling support is going to be absolutely fine. Vincenzo thinking about coming around and looking for Karis, but I don't think Karis is going to get spotted, has that wave pushing in towards him. So as far as how these exchanges are going in this bottom lane, it's on Live Sandboxes now. Glacial Prison is going to connect. It lands onto Effort, who just blows up. There is nothing that he can do about it. Diablo's going to fall, so they go 1 for 1, and now Frim down here looking to try and get some damage onto Vincenzo, but instead he's slicing, he's dicing, and he's back in the jungle.
And he's given away his teleport here, and this will allow Diehug to catch up a little bit, but that teleport advantage he had from his early laning phase could have resulted in some bigger play down here if they stayed longer. Diablo, unfortunately, taking a lot of damage from this turret, decides to dash away, doesn't flash early, will die to the... barely die to that
it was like
damage.
One last chakram or something.
Yeah, really unfortunate there, but that's enough. Aphelios picking up a kill, and yes, Effort did die, and yes, they got the teleport, but I think the biggest win here is really the Aphelios starting to come online here now. Is the rest of this comp for Live Sandbox, you know, it needs time, and Lucian picking up a kill, yeah, it's nice, but I think the Aphelios at this stage in the game with how these comps kind of work, it feels much better that he's able to pick up that kill. And, you know, I'm worried here for Live Sandbox because it's Tank Gragas coming through, which normally we like, but in this game I'm not so sure about how it's going to work out here when you're talking about the Aphelios' long-term damage. You don't have extra damage to burst the Aphelios down. You've got to get through a Maokai and an Ahri. Wild Growth exists. Maybe going to be missing some of that damage as Dahyuk.
Yeah, just getting to work down here towards his bottom side. Bobby Metro Boomin, these casters do read chat. You have your caps lock key down. Just maybe check that one out and see whether you can address it, because Nightbot can get upset if you write too many things with capital letters. Just a little bit of a warning. The other casters were chill. These ones can be chill.
We're not always
just have
chill.
to see. Yeah, we might be chill. Because we're like, at least on the bro side, we're kind of 40% LCK commentators right now. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, about 40%.
Yeah, about 40%.
Exactly 40%.
Yeah, approximately exactly 40%.
And Raptor, former LCK?
Hey, so it is.
Play in
it
the
is
LCK?
very, maybe 42%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 42%. As here comes Liv Sandbox towards his bottom side. Vincenzo, Glacial Prison at the ready. There's the culling. Enosh taking a bit of damage there as Raptor just stands in front. And as it turns out, nothing really happening. Frim's got a couple of plates here on this top side. And Dahyuk making some sounds. And Karis going to get a Shifting Sands out of Goody. Yep. And Goody going to wander away.
So I saw a really good question in chat.
Oh, what was
our
that?
Favorite kind of kimchi?
Ooh, I like the red one.
Very, very descriptive. I mean, there are
I'm a
white
classic
kimchis.
cabbage guy. I'm a classic cabbage kimchi guy.
So white kimchi is my second favorite. Okay, hold on. I thought we were going to see engage, but no, we're not. Just plates exchanged. My favorite is definitely Chanlado kimchi, which is like the kimchi from the Chanlado region, which is a little bit spicier.
You're a fish sauce kimchi guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a fishy kimchi guy. I'm more a soul kimchi guy. But that's interesting. I should tell Cherry. She'd be proud of you.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best one for sure. And I try to eat it when I can, and it actually tastes like the best if you go to like Gwangju. You're like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah. I mean, it depends where you go, because I've had the best kimchi ever in Gwangju, but I've also like had the overly fish saucy ones, and I'm just like not a massive fish sauce guy. So that's where I sort of like I have a little bit of an issue. Have you had the spring onion kimchi though?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh god, like leek. It's pretty much leek because it's like bigger, but man, that is so good.
We are gonna have a fight here with Tidal Wave starting off. Goody looking for the flank.
We're going surfing, but there's some nature grasping at them as well, as Goody gonna have to shift more sands. And you said that we're gonna have some action, but Brim's gonna turn it. We are actually going to. There's the Emperor's Divide as out goes Karis. Does have his ultimate as they dive on forward. Raptor, massive journey there with the twisted advance, and it's actually just him that's going to go down at the end of the fight.
That was a huge ult from Enish, but he's still just sitting on a Noon Quiver, so it's just not the damage at this point in time that they need to finish off those kills. And it was a pretty wild fight. I thought Guti was going to either have the Emperor's Divide that decided it, or was just going to get collapsed on and die, but he had Crown, so it was a little bit more difficult for Breon to actually decide they were going to go in. Tidal Waves used early, traded, of course, with the Nature's Grasp, and then you see Guti dashes away, and the target here is Frim, so he's like, okay, well, I am actually Renekton. Very difficult to kill. I'm going to go in and Q. And I don't think he actually has his Goredrinker just yet, but he did a lot of healing there. And then Raptor just decides he's going in without any follow-up. He saw that Aphelios ult, and he's like, I'm following that. But with a low-range champion like Aphelios, he certainly had a hard time getting the killing to happen. He did a lot of damage with his ultimate, but didn't really do much after that, so he dies. And Goredrinker is done now. I don't think it was already in that last fight. I could be wrong, but still, almost a disastrous fight for Liv Sandbox, and Raptor just decided to give them a little free.
Yeah, and I mean, I actually kind of liked it. Of course, Twisted Advance is one of those things that's difficult to really predict where you're going to end up, because you press that button, and then the champion that you've pressed has the ability to take you wherever
There's a lot of mobility right now in the League of Legends meta.
It is very, very true. So, you know, I kind of liked it just because it was right on the reuse of the Moonlight Vigil, and so it sort of looked like things could happen, but then he kind of went boom. The biggest problem there was not having a ward in the brush. So Diablo survived with absolutely nothing, and then there was no way for him to be targeted after he walks into the brush when he gets stunned by Frim. So It was nicely played by Liv Sandbox. Emperor's Divide positioning was good as well. So.
I actually didn't notice until just now that it's not Cloud Soul, or rather Ocean Soul. It's Hextech Soul. As Prim is looking for an angle here, does not have flash. Diablo's positioning pretty good thus far.
Ooh, Goody does have his crown still active. As, okay, Nature's Grasp going to come forward. It is traded for the tidal wave. Nice position there to try and get a little bit of space. As, speaking of which, Frim trying to create as much as he can. That is a flash forward. Dahyuk, not sure about that one. That was not in my in the best moves category.
It was not in the good Bomba slot.
Yeah, that was a negative Bomba situation.
Yeah, it was not in the good Bomba column. It was definitely not exactly what he was looking for. The follow-ups, though, for Raptors ults have been very lackluster in this game here for Breon, though. OK Savings Bank Bro here struggling to actually follow up on what has been like some pretty solid Maokai ults here from Raptor. And then you have Vincenzo completely blocking Karas out in that fight, so he actually can't get on top of any of the carries in the back line. Goody has a crown, so it's very difficult to kill him and punish him. Then it just ended up being a whole lot of nothing here for Breon at the end of the day.
Somewhat negatory situation as Goody going to have his crown popped. I do want to see that one again because Kevin Kim did actually point out that I think it was a reaction from Enosh that made Dahyuk look really silly. So we'll have to double check. But to me, it just looked like he sort of body slammed the air, and that was not great.
Yeah, you know, you have to, of course, be prepared for those types of flash engages, but you also need to know that if the enemy AD carry has flash, you probably don't want to be trading flash like that, you know, unless you're going to win the fight. Because now you don't have flashes. Gragas, Enosh has Gale Force, or he will have Gale Force eventually. I actually thought maybe we'd see less Stormrazor and less Aphelios in general with both of those things being nerfed on this patch, but at least in Challengers so far, nope, we're still doing it.
Yeah, and yesterday was exactly the same thing. Just a lot of Aphelios being picked up all over the place. As Raptor, vision on him, Brim in the area as well. So maybe Liv Sandbox without all of the information as they get a control ward down, and there it is. Do know exactly what's going on. 30 seconds on this dragon the Bro is setting up for. That's going to be Soul Point for a Hextech Soul, and that feels fantastic here for Bro. Or for anyone who's picking up a Hextech Soul. Also, Hextech Rift does mean that it's sort of like trainer wheels, like macro trainer wheels that you add, because you can go for resets and then get back to wherever you want to be extraordinarily quickly with those Hex gates. So kind of helps out for a lot of our challenger
macro
teams.
Booster?
Yeah, the macro booster. You love. Oh, that sapling. What's the value? What's the gold value on that sapling? I'd say it's about 600 gold.
He got the shield off of Guti. No more crown.
Rift Herald is trying to charge. Not really going to work out as the team fight is broken out as well. Wild Growth onto the tree. They do deal with Shirley, and they're trying to deal with Prim as well. As, oh man, those chakrams starting to hurt here as Enosh had pretty good guns for that fight, but he can't really auto-attack. We were talking about range issues and things like this.
Yeah, I mean, they won the fight, but they didn't kill anybody. Vincenzo just trying to heal up a little bit here on the side, and they are going to stick around. Guti still has ultimate. His crown is probably coming back online here very soon as well. Prim? Yeah,
Prim just going to flash on forward, kind of realized that he needs to make some sort of move, and he survives. The Emperor's Divide actually helping him out there. Praise Goody for helping the Crocodile. That is Shuriman synergy right there. No, Mr. Crocodile, I love you, my son. Please get out.
So this game is so like it's on a knife's edge every single fight. Like everybody is so extremely low, but the execution in terms of actually getting those final hits on, getting the actual elimination secured is just not happening.
No, it's not a thing.
It's just not happening. Nobody is dying, but Breon are starting to pull ahead in gold here. They went from like 800 gold to 1,000 gold. Now they're sitting at 1,400 gold, the lead here, and they just keep taking these objectives. And Hextech Soul is, as you guys know, very important to prevent. And I'm not entirely sure if Liv Sandbox is going to be able to do that, as Guti has had some not so great Emperor's Divides this game. Again, just to point it out, like I don't remember his career win rate on the champion, but I remember last season he was something like 0-8 on it before he won his first game. So
yeah,
it's arguably his worst pick, and they decided to pick it here anyways. It's not working out so far.
And you might look at these drafts, and if you missed the draft phase of the game, you might be like, oh, it makes sense. They picked the Azir away from Karis. It was an R5, so it doesn't even have that. which is a little bit of a shame. Where's Susan for the full Shuriman Ascended comp? Yeah, I agree. That would be very cool. We could do with a Talia there as well for a bit more of that Shuriman flavor. However, not necessarily one of those in that particular group. But still from
a little bit less
vicinity.
relevant, you know, these days.
Yeah. But I mean, she's surfing around while they're hanging out in their temples and stuff like that.
I mean, the Everfrost build that Showmaker kind of popularized, it's still out there, you know. It still could appear. Maybe when Effort hovers it in the draft, that's like as close as we're going to get today, but...
Yeah. Oh, is the new TFT set out today? Oh, Danny Cell, that's really cool information. I should be checking that out.
By the way, did you see that guy in the chat? We didn't acknowledge him, but he said, if you guys see this, I'll shave my head. And I saw it, but I guess you didn't see it, so I guess
no,
it's
I didn't.
safe.
Oh, okay, there we go. Well, I mean, it's not 100%. I mean, he needs to shave half of it because you saw it. Is that how it works?
No, I think
I saw a person reacting
to
to it, but otherwise not. Oh, Atlas, for a school project, how do you think League of Legends has affected the social climate of Korea?
PC Bang culture has changed, I think, over time because of League of Legends.
I would say so too. I think probably it's interesting. I wouldn't necessarily know because when I got here, PC Bang culture was entirely League of Legends, and I didn't experience what it was like during the StarCraft era.
It was one of the first games where you could get a huge benefit of playing it in the PC Bang because all champions were unlocked for play, and they still are. But I think a lot of people who've been playing for many years have like most of the champs they want to play anyways. But you know, when a new champ comes out, if you can't afford it, you can go to PC Bang, you know, with your friends between classes or something, and play a game of, you know, whatever champ just came out. Decide if you want to buy it, you know. And I think it pushed people to play more games together because StarCraft is kind of, you go to the PC Bang with your friend. You're probably not going to play against them because you're sitting next to each other. You might play like 3v3, but it's not
2v2s and stuff.
It's not the competitive, you know, version of StarCraft that you're really playing. So kind of different.
For me, I would be playing all of like the side games and stuff in the map editor and all that sort of business. Whoa!
Bye-bye.
That's a bit of an engage. Goodbye, Effort. Yeah, he was swept up in the sands.
Goody made a play. He did it. He made a thing happen. He's 2-0 now.
He collected. You love to see it. Okay, fantastically done.
No flash there from Effort, just not able to react quickly enough. Pretty far forward there. Goody sees an opportunity. Now he will respawn before this Drake spawns in about 70 seconds time, and he will still have his flash, so feels good at least about that.
Oh, Foxfire was at least precast there for Karis, and now Goody going to come on down. Nice charm, but I don't know whether it's going to quite be enough here as the Winter's Wrath comes through. That is going to be the Everfrost that will secure his life. Karis holds on to flash.
Yeah, so 2 flashes held on to here for the side of OK Savings Bank. Breon, Karis coming over here to clear this wave. Pings going down on the Dragon. A lot of request pings here for Breon as everybody's going to reset here and set up for that Dragon fight. And I know it's a 1-3 kill score. It's 23.5 minutes in, but this could be like the fight that decides the game, actually, just simply because this Hextech Soul is so incredibly strong. If Live Sandbox win the fight and take the Drake, it won't be game winning for them, but if Breon take this, it basically is. So Live Sandbox need to show up here. Guti's ult coming back online, his flash as well. Really important timing to have those. He's got his second item complete here.
Wolfrin teleporting in. Could have been dangerous if there was a bubble at the ready, but it was not. Sandbox moving towards this river. 4 seconds. And there it is. The Hextech Drake has come on out. See what Bro can actually get done here, because I agree with you. I think this is an incredibly important moment. The charm is going to connect onto Daihak, but he's pretty tanky. Should be okay for now. Enosh, fantastic guns as the Glacial Prison goes wide. Tidal Wave does the same thing, but they have control of the Drake. Karis looking for his opportunity to get forward. There's the Nature's Grasp. They dive on in. It's not going to be the Soul, but can they actually win a fight? Can anyone die in this fight? As already the Nami is seafood. The Gragas to follow suit, and Bro are coming alive. OK Savings Bank destruction here on the Rift.
Yep.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
No, I don't know, but I think it means Breon are going to put that extra gold they picked up in this team fight in the bank. There you go. Yeah. Get some extra interest on that one, because this game is going to go on at least 5 more minutes here as Live Sandbox do secure that Drake, as you mentioned, so preventing the Soul. Now, Breon will pick up some more money to put in the bank here with this Baron. There's a lot of standing gold on the map, including that mid turret that's still up here, so Bro going to be able to pick up so much money from this Baron alone, but I think Live Sandbox will get one more opportunity at a team fight. And Maokai just warps these fights so much because you toss this ultimate out here. Yes, a cast comes through, but nobody can really follow up. And look at where Frim is here, getting into the back line. Diablo doing no damage. Guti really no impact on this fight. Doesn't get the opportunity to Emperor's Divide because he's locked down by the Maokai ultimate. So Emperor's Divide's defensively here, but it's ultimately too late.
Yeah, and he managed to get Frim away from Diablo, but did really feel like the damage had majoritively been done as Bro now moving towards this top side. Thinking about getting some pressure down with the newly acquired Baron that they picked up for themselves. For him, yeah, it's just going to say, welcome, my Shuriman brother.
Crown value.
Yeah, there we go.
He's living.
He is. Not exactly doing much more than that, as Vincenzo picks up his essence of Bramble back and now heads towards this top side. Raptor slightly out of position here, but Frim pretty good on this front line right now as Karis moving towards the outer turret in mid with his Baron buff attached.
Yeah.
And he's split.
He is split, and he's going to force a reaction here, or he might even be able to threaten that inner turret, as this is going to mean the sandbox comes down. And speaking of inners, this top one now fairly vulnerable here. Guti still has his ultimate.
Frim looking to try and get out, possibly out of position here as Diablo's flashing forward. Does have Dominus, there's Wild Growth as well, and finally he does fall down, but Enosh, he's going to get pushed under the turret. He manages to get Diablo though, as we need Karis to turn up to this fight. It was 4 versus 5.
He's going to get the
look
turret, though.
Somewhat competitive.
Right? Get the turret, Karis. Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
He is going to get it, so I think still worth. And Guti actually made a big play again here with the Emperor's Divide. Didn't have flash. Waited for a very long time to use it. I was kind of concerned that he was just going to once again just sit on the ultimate and not utilize it here, as they're actually able to do so much damage to Frim. He holds it in this moment. Frim has so much healing, of course, with his Word Drinker. And then the Emperor's Divide comes through here. So they still secure the kill onto the Renekton. I was worried that they weren't going to with all that healing, but they kill him. Emperor's Divide is good, but still, trade back there from Enosh was fantastic. As you mentioned, that's his 3rd kill of the game, and they get that extra gold in mid. So still, Brion feeling very comfortable with their situation, but you know, credit where it's due. Guti was able to make a play happen here. He's sitting on 5 stacks of that Dark Seal too, because he's 3-0-1.
Yeah.
I mean, he's relevant in this game. He needs to have 1 more of those to secure the 2nd Hextech Drake for his team, and then maybe there's a comeback angle here. But right now, Brion's still in firm control.
Yep. Lucid still pointing out that Diablo autoed the wrong person. I'm not sure whether Diablo's in this game, but Diablo may have had a bit of a whoopsie on that front. But we don't want to nitpick. That's not what this is about. This is Challenger, and that was Guti making a good play. 3-0-1, like it is pretty crazy that he has been able to put together such a nice scoreline in a game where they really have not done many positive things outside of that one play on the top side.
Yeah, I mean, Crown is, I think, the reason why he has 0 deaths still. Obviously, almost getting picked on the top side of the map. You can see him on the player cam here. I think he's a player that really has...
Bigu Bosu Bobarasu is like, not only does he have the best name, but also has like the best questions.
He's on a strict 20 beer every 12 hours KFC Zinger box diet.
You're not even halfway to a Gragas belly. Do you have any advice? Well, I'd probably suggest like
don't do that.
Sitting down a lot and playing a lot of video games. If your goal is the Gragas belly,
I'm not gonna be okay with the Gragas belly goal. I think that's probably not a good goal for you.
No, it's a bad goal. However, if it is your goal,
healthy.
We're gonna help you achieve it. You know, because that's what it's about: inclusivity and making sure that if that's what you want, you can achieve it. So, Bigubasu Bobarasu, I really hope that you can get the belly of your dreams.
And Diablo was way up in the front there. They did not have vision initially, so he was able to escape, but I was very concerned for him as the low-range Lucian. Now he's in a good spot here, but once again, it's on Guti. He's got his crown. See what that engage, you know, when he uses it here. It doesn't have flash, so we'll have to shuffle. That's really the only hope here for Live Sandbox.
Ooh, I'm going to go wide there as a lot of damage from Karis as Brim tanking up the majority of that culling. Still, Diablo taking a lot there as well.
Brim has TP, so he can come back, and that's what it looks like
he
might
is
want
going
to do.
And there it is! That's Hextech Soul picked up for Bro! And the Polymorph, absolutely fantastic. Meant that Daiha couldn't do anything there. Moonlight Vigil is going to fly forward, and that will spell the demise of Live Sandbox in this one. No teleport required. Frim decided that he only needed about 400 health as plan B. Well, yeah, it's if this was plan B, I don't want to know what Plan C is going to have to be moving into the next one.
We're going to Plan X now.
Planet X.
Well, you know, Guti, he was saving his Emperor's Divide for Game 2.
Well,
then he didn't save it. Then he used it at the end
Yeah.
because he decided, like, maybe I should probably use it this game. It doesn't roll over. That's what I just found out. It's sad because he had some good Emperor's Divides this game, but otherwise didn't use them in fights that really needed to decide the fight. And when your Crown
also
is
his
here,
only death.
yeah, when your Crown is here, as this game is over, when your Crown is here, like, you are kind of just a Emperor's Divide button in these fights. You don't offer that much damage. You don't have Leandri's, you don't have Luden's Burst, so it's binary. Did you have the big ult? You know, you had the Crown to get yourself there. Did you do it, or did you wait till the end of the fight? Like, a little bit rough for him on this one. Once again, we'll watch this final fight. He's level 16 as well. And this is just a great play from Raptor. Flashes in, steals the Drake away despite them not being in position.
Polymorph's timing was absolutely fantastic there from Effort as well. He waited until the very end of the CC from the Nature's Grasp just to make sure that he could get maximum value out of that one. It was very nicely done.
And like, with the position they were in there, in defense of Goody a little bit, the way that he could have Emperor's Divide, like the options he had were very limited, and he did use it very well to actually push Frim back. Man, you're like, okay, there's an Ahri running at us. I need to keep this 80 carry alive, but he did the most damage in the game on this Azir, but the impact, even with 3-0 there, felt fairly low in really critical team fights.
We need to vote for some POG.
Right.
I'm kind of
I'm a Maokai voter, I think.
I feel like I might be a...
Just gonna vote for jungle. Kind of a boring one, but
I'm a crop voter.
That's all right.
I feel like
he
he
had some
cropped
good.
positively.
Yeah, I mean, he actually did do quite a lot of damage, and he threatened a lot of different angles, even though he didn't really get kills secured. Like, the angles he took and the damage he did and how long he survived in fights made it really difficult for Goody to engage.
Yeah, I thought it was well played. But honestly, as you can see with the damage grab, it was a team effort. Everyone really bringing out a whole lot. Effort, not necessarily, although team effort kind of feels like it should be effort. He is just the name of the effort that was put in from the rest of his team. And yeah, man, based on how this one went, I would say that we're not being represented by a bank era of around 2008. This is much more recent.
Yeah, this is no recession here being shown.
No. We're on a it's a bull market. Or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Bull's not playing today, but he did play yesterday, and it wasn't.
And he's kind of represented by a bit of a bear situation as well.
Yeah, bit of hibernation at the moment, little hibernation, but it's okay.
I don't know financial speak all that well, so I'm going to stop trying to figure it out. Interest rates are bringing in the wins. Heck yeah, that's what it's all about. But nicely done here from Bro. Is Frim's going to pick it up?
Yeah, good call from you.
There we go.
70% kill participation, had a really good game on the Renekton. Also his laning phase, which we didn't zoom in on that much, was pretty insane. He was able to hold his teleport and basically beat the Gragas even after he teleported back, and he had such high health that he was able to then teleport bottom side to try to save that play. It didn't actually end up being needed there, but he was super dominant, so and tanked a lot of damage. I mean, that's the real key. Like, his survivability in those fights, like his ability to get in there, heal up, do a ton of damage was really quite nice.
Yeah, and he was trying to get back for that teleport in, still didn't die, even though he went in with like 15% HP. Absolutely love it. Big Boss Bobarosu, I hope you're okay. I would probably, just maybe talk to someone about what we can do, because I just don't know whether the routine is necessarily what you need. Easy Zealot, you probably have the nail on the head right there.
I got the confirmation that there will be no subs for OK Savings Bank Breon. Unsurprising, but sometimes in challenges you have these players come in and then they win a game like this, and then the coaching staff is like, all right, well, that's it. That's what we came here to do with you today, and now we're going back to the regular roster, but not today. We're sticking in.
Really nicely done here by OK Savings Bank Breon. And I just think that being able to mix up your roster like this is very, very cool. We were talking about this when it actually became a rule, when you could sort of mix up your Challenger squad and your LCK squad sort of on the fly, and no one was really utilizing it. And now you've got Bro figuring it out to a victory here in their first game. Really cool stuff.
I mean, there's a world in which these players play for OK Savings Breon's Challengers team today, and then also play this week in LCK, and it's just like giving them additional games, getting their confidence back maybe. I mean, that's a strat. I mean, that's a way you can approach things.
Heck yeah, but I think it is time for us to go to a short break. When we get back, game number 2, we'll see whether OK Savings Bank Breon can do it again. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's LCK Challenger time. It's 2023 summer. I'm Atlas. Once again, this is Wolf that is joining me. And we are ready to get into game number 2. OK Savings Bank Breon coming away with a victory in game number 1 with, you know, a former World Championship representative in effort. Just cheerleading this squad to a victory.
Yeah, not a whole lot of action. Well, there was some strong team fighting, or like not strong team fight. Well, I'm not going to go that far. There were some team fights that happened that just didn't result to kills, so it felt like a very slow game, but they were able to kind of wear away at Live Sandbox and continue to take those objectives, taking Baron really the backbreaker. And we'll see if Live Sandbox, I assume they're going to pick blue side. It maybe hasn't been selected yet because it's like written, they selected blank on our little information memo that we have here, and we'll see what they do, but I think they're going to pick blue side. Maybe we'll see Diablo on a late game 80 carry this time instead of the Lucian, because I'm kind of hoping for that. Like I don't think it was bad necessarily, but they didn't seem confident with the composition they put together. Because
I think their comp was fine. Yeah,
it was a good comp. They just didn't seem like they were very comfortable playing it. So I want to see something else.
Ooh, Gatoran with the Valdez and myself emotes. What a god! Look at this guy. Absolutely killing it. We are great today, Gatoran. Thank you very much for asking. And Witter is asking whether I follow any Australian creators. There was one. Oh man, and she was fantastic, but I can't quite remember her name. Maybe I'll have to look it up.
Literal demons from the void stand no chance against the belly. No magic, just strict discipline of belly. I'm just an average bricklayer, not a dragon.
Bigger boss of Barbarossa, I hope you're all right. When a player plays a champion in such a way that cannot be replicated by other pros, but is clearly overpowered when done by said player, should that champion be nerfed? I would say no. I would say that if the champion is above a certain win rate in solo queue, they should be nerfed. I think that is generally the way to do it.
Yeah, I actually think that if you have the greatest player of all time breaking the game, that's just a thing that you celebrate about that player.
Yeah, and then you thank goodness that bans exist. I think that's how it works. Where is the Powerade, Yundo? Where is the Powerade? I was wondering about that myself. Yeah, when are we seeing the casters 1v1? In what game? In what world? Are we seeing that?
Yeah, come at me in StarCraft.
Yeah. Hi, Catboy Cooties. How you doing? So far we see absolutely no change
Yeah, it's
when it comes to
exactly
the
the
bans.
same.
Yumi needs to come through here. We're going to go for exactly the same situation.
Wait, they
and it's
actually
red
picked
side.
red side. Yeah, I was like, wait, why are these the same? Because Live Sandbox actually chose. They have selected red side. They opted into this. It's maybe the first time we've seen this the entire season of both leagues.
Whoa! Whoa! Ah! Whoa! That was too much.
Somebody pressed
that
the
was
rotate
too
button.
much. Too much rotation. Whoa, Monte
right,
Cristo
well-
would be proud.
Yeah, he would.
There we go. 1v1 at rock paper scissors. All right, let's do it right now. We can do it right now.
Well, shouldn't we do it on camera? when we
No,
have a
no, no, no. We
chance?
have to actually say the word. So we go 1, 2, 3, and then you say
Okay.
whichever one you want. Okay, so 1, 2,
2,
3,
3,
rock.
Wow. One.
Okay, 2, 3,
Paper.
paper. 1, 2, 3, paper.
Okay, this is
Whoa,
getting
whoa.
weird.
Okay, 1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
paper.
scissors.
Oh, I got
Got
wrecked.
him.
I went for the triple paper play. Triple paper play is too much. That is too much.
Got
Okay.
him. All right.
We've got Lucian Nami. They are going to be locked in here, as Aphelios Lulu are going to come through, and Live Sandbox will maybe then just pick Gragas. Surprise.
Yeah, I think that's where we're headed. I really don't like this for the Sandbox because it almost makes it seem like they're thinking like, oh, no, like we just got a little bit unlucky in the last game. I'm like, I don't think that's what
Yeah.
happened. I don't.
Maybe pick away Ari or something. I think Ari works really well in the mid game with Lucian Nami.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then just change up your jungle.
Or just pick Sejuani. Sure. By the way, we've been analyzed. Atlas trying to stack up paper for the rock pivot R4. Amazing. I love to see it. Thank you, Kizzo.
I actually just thought he was going back to rock, and I was like, well, if he goes paper again, I scissors, I win. If he goes rock, then we're done with this because it was going on for too long. So I was like, it's gonna end right here. I was like, there's no way he goes scissors.
Yeah.
I just knew there's no way he goes scissors. So it's 50-50, and either way, it's over. But I won, so you know, I'm clearly better.
Yeah. I think rock paper scissors is a skill-based game.
Oh, I
100%.
like this Renekton ban, by the way. That's some adaptation.
Yeah, gets POG, not allowed to play the champion again. Kind of like it as well. And if Live Sandbox do go for like the Ari R4, I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, no, I actually think the draft becomes pretty good. It's not the greatest synergy with Sejuani's Permafrost, but it's still great, obviously, in terms of the stuns you can set up. If you can hit the charm, you don't necessarily need Permafrost to actually be a successful Sejuani ganker. And yeah, I do like that option here. Also denies it from Karis. I just don't want to see the Azir again. I don't think that it's bad on this patch. Like, I think it is significantly better, but Scooty is not a great Azir player, unfortunately.
There is the Nah ban, so Dahyuk not going to be playing that one. There's the Gragas, pretty understandable.
We're just rolling it back, aren't we? We're just rolling it back. With the exception of the Renekton that can't be played.
Yep. And we're expecting that to go top lane once again, but of course, theoretically, is a flex. Which makes sense when you're playing on red side. So,
I think
bro, what do they do?
They
Just
could
the same thing?
Play Ari again. I think it's totally fine. In terms of the top lane, maybe we just see Ornn and they just play a little bit more front to back. I'm trying to think of what other picks they could do if they really wanted to go like aggressive. Frim could play like Aurelia if they really wanted to just be like, no, we're forcing it hard. And Ari does come through. Ornn is the standard LCK approach.
Yeah,
I'd
I want to have
love
a
to
look
see
at
like
his champion
Gangplank or
pool.
something else, you know, that would be really fun. But I don't think it's going to happen. It's just going to be the Ornn. Sorry for letting you guys know the hard truth,
Oh,
but it was
no.
just going to, I knew it was going to be boring, and it's going to be boring, but that's okay.
Hey, there's nothing
It's
boring
standard.
about Ornn. I just think that they lack damage quite a fair bit with
But
this.
he'll
They do
make
have
up for it.
engage.
if
They
they'll-
do have engage.
Yeah, and he'll make up for it in the later parts of the game, right, with his ornaments. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, maybe.
No! Okay, this is good, this is good, this is good. Nope, go back. Scroll one back to the Annie.
I think you basically can't play Annie into Maokai Ornn, though.
That's
I don't
really
know
hard.
how you ever find an angle. So it makes sense to not pick Annie, but it doesn't make sense to once again pick Azir.
Yeah, well, he didn't find very many angles on the Azir except when Bro were diving turrets, basically. Look, again, I think this Azir pick and the comp is actually good. Like, I think you and I agree that this comp is pretty good, but after what we saw last game, and the Maokai just makes every good comp seem slightly worse because the ultimate is just so oppressive. I think we might see a similar game here. And honestly, I think Breon, they could have won even harder if their follow-ups to some of those fights were better. Then Enish actually gets fed, and the game is even more one-sided. So that's my concern. I think running this back for the Sandbox makes me wonder, like, did they just come into the day going, this is how we want to draft, we want to pull this off on red side, and even if we lose, let's, like, treat this like a scrim? It's not the winning strategy, but maybe it's a way to improve and grow as a team. I don't know.
Yeah, could be something like that. But I think that at least this time around, Daihyuk's going to have a better time in the top lane. Ornn doesn't necessarily run over lanes anymore, and he, like, for him, was having a field day on the Renekton. So him pivoting to something with a little bit less pressure up there might open up the game for Liv Sandbox a bit, especially around some of these Herald fights that we did see last time. Could be a thing. Could also just be a repeat of what we saw last time because, guys, we're not going to beat around the bush. There is one change, and that is it. And that is Ornn now instead of Renekton.
It was a good change to ban the Renekton from Liv Sandbox. Like I thought it was a good choice, a simple but wise adaptation.
Yep. By the way, you can still have a bit of a gamble on this game. You just need to put in the team that you think is going to win right now, and then we'll keep track in our heads, and then congratulate you afterwards.
Yeah.
So just take this
channel points.
Yeah, we don't need channel points. It's not about channel points. It's about being right, and we'll see whether you can be right. So just make sure you just type down right now as we get ready to rock out. Oh, clean.
Clean as always, you know.
Yeah, it's just perfect.
You and I missed the one that wasn't our fault on day one, where it just didn't happen.
Yeah, that we just didn't have do at all.
But of all of the guitar riff do possibilities, we are 100% win rate so far.
Yeah. We're killing it. Absolutely killing it. For him and Daihyuk, not going to dance around. I think they saw Rascal with the huge party foul last week, which was like inexcusably awful of him to do. Even broke a bone plating as well, and everyone's hearts at the same time. Just terrible.
Yeah, that's why they both took second wind here. They were like, that's gonna get value if he does party foul me.
Yep. Channel points at 25K followers. Is that how many we need? How many followers do we have on our channel?
16.5 according to your laptop over there.
We need to, if you haven't follow please, because we might be able to get there. That might be when we unlock 7TV,
yeah,
you know?
I actually, like, it says 16.5K. I think it's actually 16.5 kajillion, because everybody loves challengers. I think that's what it means.
I mean, I think everyone loves it, but I don't think everyone knows that they love it yet, you know? It's one of those things. So just make sure you tell your friends and all that sort of stuff, and we can all just enjoy it together. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
Blade Princess didn't even know it existed until tonight, and now they're a fan forever.
Is that what TN stands for?
Yeah.
I've never heard that one before. Today I learned.
Oh, well, tonight you learned.
Yeah, TN I learned.
Yeah, TN you learned. There you go. Choco Mint Cookie says that they're here for competitive rock, paper, scissors, and thankfully, we have that in spades. Or in shovels. Do you know what the difference is between a shovel and a spade? Let's not go into it. Maybe we can, though.
Isn't the spade the smaller one that you use for, like, it's more triangular and...
Yeah, I think a shovel has, like, more of a depth to it.
It has a wider, I mean, it has a longer, like, handle or stick?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's another word I'd use, but I don't know if I can say that on TV.
Ooh, Raptor might find himself a stray piggy. And is actually just, gonna have to punch that one away.
Smashes him away and,
Okay, does avoid the CC very nicely. Wow, that timing is real tight.
Yeah,
avoiding
that was actually pretty
CC.
clean. And now effort's over here.
Yeah,
good
Raptor getting babysat. Like that one a lot. Throwing the sapling in, and Vincenzo may need to leave here. We'll see. Might just be a 50-50 on this one, or Raptor might just give it up, and he does so. So Vincenzo going to be able to get out of there with the red buff.
Already a big adaptation in the early game here from Liv Sandbox. Like last time they were winning lane in the bottom 2v2 and then kind of had an awkward back timing and then just lost the Drake for free. This time they're actually able to come in there and disrupt the jungle. force effort back. And you'd see Inish was a little bit vulnerable there on the bottom side of the map for a moment. Good escape there from Raptor. I think, like you said, if Raptor doesn't play that as well, there's actually a real possibility that he ends up getting taken out there or forced to flash. So,
there's a great question in chat. Does Yorick use a spade or a shovel?
I think it's a shovel.
I think so too, because I know that Dampe from Ocarina of Time also uses a shovel, and I'm pretty sure Yorick is just Dampe.
I actually have the same thoughts. I always think of the opposite when I'm playing Zelda. I think about Yorick, and then when I'm playing League and I see Yorick, I think about Dampe. So
it's perfect. It's like cross promotion.
They didn't put Dampe in any form in any of the new Zelda games, like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, right?
I feel like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, they do sort of have him in like the guy that sells the monster parts and stuff. He's like got the vibes.
Yeah, he's got the vibe for sure.
But it's not the same, you know? But it is, it's similar.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a spade here. I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, I do know that Effort's taking way too much damage here. They're trying to turn it onto Diablo, who has absolutely no mana left. But our health bars are the ones that are in trouble here on the bro side. Still being able to even out the trade with Diablo at least, but Plan B is still very, very healthy.
Yeah, Lucian is really reliant on his abilities to win fights like this, so he needs to eat that cookie to get the mana back. I love the poke that we saw there from the Inferno from Enish to just try to push him back. And it won't end up amounting to anything. As like you mentioned, up here, the top lane actually playable for Dahyuk this time around. He's actually doing things. He's trying to be relevant.
Yeah, avoids the brittle really nicely there as well with the body slam. So you like to see it, actually understanding the intricacies of this particular matchup. But still, Friend is ahead in farm by a decent margin, even though we just witnessed him missing ACS. Sometimes Barmy Cinder trolls you like that. It's just how it goes. Oh, and again, yeah, that's why we have to cut the video, have to move away.
It could be up even more in CS.
Exactly, that's the whole thing. But I learned from Afromu that as long as you're beating your opponent, it doesn't matter what the number is. You just, like, the most important thing is to stop your opponent from being able to do it. That's
if you have one more than them, you're winning.
Yep. At least that's what he told me in 2013. I assume that it's probably still the same because, you know, killing minions hasn't really changed.
This is Challengers, not Academy, but thank you. Welcome. First time chatter. Is this still map 1? No, it's map 2.
Yeah, this
thank
is
you
map
for
2.
using map. That's my thing.
And also there was someone that was a bit confused by the fact that Effort and Karis are playing. Yeah, Bro has just moved them into their Challenger roster today. We don't know whether it's necessarily for this week or not, as Vincenzo, as the actual Zoid skin on the Sejuani. You love to see it. Which one was that? It had a special name.
Yeah.
This is like the main character guy.
I actually really liked Zoids when I was a kid.
Oh,
like,
me too.
Lot.
Man, that show was so cool. Just the coolest. It was like Transformers, but like actually cool.
What was that other show? Oh, Voltron. That was like the...
Yeah, Voltron was
Voltron was actually like the best version of that weird era where every anime was like, and I'll form the head, but...
yeah, it was just
Voltron actually, they said I'll form the
head. Absolutely amazing. Bro are just kind of like being fine, although they are down in gold just a little bit here, largely to do with the fact that in the mid lane, Goody is ahead in a bit of farm. And we do have a camp lead here for Vincenzo as Karis is going to move on down, but I've seen this story play out before, Wolf.
Yeah, it's a little bit slower this time around. It's not Hex Take Soul. Oh,
that is ult for ult.
That is why
you probably take it.
Yeah, it's hard to kill Ahri with this pick, but you still are able to trade ultimates, as you mentioned.
I think slightly longer cooldown on the Emperor's Divide in comparison to the Spirit Rush.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so too, but it's, as you can see on this, actually no, according to our cooldown bars here, not quite, actually a little bit faster for Emperor's Divide, but Ahri's been changed so many times, like, you know, it's hard to remember exactly what her old cooldown is unless
it's a Liga. That was the name of the Zoid.
Ah, yes, that's right.
So it just came into my brain.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think ultimately here for Guti, like, even though he's going to have his ult faster, it doesn't really matter. And, like, he wants to try to get an advantage here with this play. He did come up short. Karis reacted very quickly. Karis is, you know, apparently nowadays kind of a bit of a Azir one-trick himself. So, you know, he's got that down. He knows how to react.
Yep. And, okay, so, as we take stock, Bro, we're trying to get some control around this Rift Herald that spawned about 40 seconds ago. Vincenzo eating kitty cats as he finds one in this pixel brush, but we'll be able to clear out vision quite nicely. All the deception, pretty satisfying, clearing out that wave. And look at this, the value of these kitty cats is pretty high. Being able to get all of this vision available. Winter's Wrath used just to get this Herald down, 50%, and I think we're going to see a team fight.
No ult for Guti.
Oh, that is going to be a really nice engage onto Effort, but the Ram's going to come through, and look at this! They are avenging their support gloriously on the side of OK Savings Bank Breon. I believe, oh no, not able to quite take the Rift Herald, so that is all that Live Sandbox will get, but that is an ace.
An ace at sub 10 minutes here.
That engage from Effort was amazing.
The positioning here for Live Sandbox is extremely suspect. Goody at least is able to avoid this turn, but he doesn't have ult. So when Vincenzo goes in and they commit everything onto a Lulu without knowing where the angle for Frim is here, they know that there's a Maokai with ult. Like,
my goodness.
It's kind of an unforgivable setup here for Live Sandbox for me. Like, you really just kind of walked headfirst in this one. They just looked so uncomfortable with this comp again. That they ran back here. And
I mean, they managed to kill Lulu real good.
Yeah,
but they used every cooldown that they had to kill the Lulu.
As well as committed even further into a bad position to where it was going to be guaranteed disaster.
Yeah, with their flank entirely open. Enosh, he could die here. As the culling does come in, there's a wild growth. Effort is going to make sure that Enosh is going to survive.
And he did pop his barrier as well, so they got something out of this.
There we go. As Rift Herald going to come through and collect some plates for Diablo. Raptor going to come down. It is going to be a charge, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen here. There might be a 3v3. As Raptor just going to punch Vincenzo. And I think that Bro just kind of want this to dissipate. Yeah,
I think that's going to be the end of it right here. Raptor does have his ultimate, and he does have flash too if he wanted to go for a long-range engage onto Diablo. So needs to be respected. As Karis is now starting to really run away with this lane. Crown picked up now again, unsurprisingly. Frim, yeah, he was having like less control in lane, quote-unquote, had a CS lead. Now it's even, but his engage in that last fight was pretty phenomenal, and
I don't know what changed, man. Like Frim had,
he's good. He's a good player. I don't know.
He's been really good, but he certainly struggled so much last season. He got his hands on Cassante so many times, right? Renekton was his most played. He got so many more wins on that. So coming into this, I was like, oh well, he's off comfort now. But his on looking brilliant, was also good in the laning phase, and Live Sandbox certainly struggling. And this maybe it's just moving a couple of players into the roster that just spices it up, gives you a new lease on what you're doing, and it's certainly working out so far here for Breon.
And if it is a confidence thing that the OK Savings Bank Breon coaching staff is looking for in LCK, I mean, this is how you do it, right? You put Karis and Effort on against the weakest team in Challengers, they absolutely bop, and then maybe they feel better going into their upcoming Challengers matches. We talked about it a little bit at the end of LCK Week 1 for summer, but it's a pretty tough schedule for Breon this week in the LCK. It's hard to sugarcoat it. It is going to be a really tough week, and they might end up going 0-4 at the end of it. But at least getting your confidence back here as Karis, if he will be playing in the LCK, you're going to feel good about that one so far, because I think he has certainly looked much better here.
Yeah, and maybe it is the week to start experimenting, right? Because you think on paper they're probably going to lose. Oh dear, that is Glacial Prison. In goes Raptor though. He flashes forward, but the bubble is just phenomenal, CC. Diablo will be knocked up though. The Ram comes in, and oh man, that headbutt to death from this On, and he's playing the On like it's speaking of assassins, Karis is, where did Goody go?
He disappeared, man. He got assassinated. He died in a solo queue. We have a pause here, so perhaps something related to...
Ooh, Goody just wanted it in a colorway of Shurima. He's like, I would play better if everything looked like it was Sandy.
Somebody said I'm not a Bro fan in the chat. I will not take this slander. I'm a fan of all 10 teams in the LCK in no particular order, as well as their Challengers and Academy teams.
I'm a fan of all 10 teams in the LCK in a particular order, but I am a fan of all 10 teams. But just some more than others.
I have no particular order. I love I love Breon the same as I love T1, the same as I love KT Rolster. And, you know, I'll even give some shout-outs to some academy teams, you know, like Shadow Corp in the past, you know. But yeah, I love that team equally as well when they are appearing in Academy Series. So we'll let you guys know what is going on as soon as we know here. Maybe hardware related, but I don't think so, just based on the fact that the ref is communicating via mobile phone right now, and no one's peripherals are being touched or moved around.
Yep. It's interesting though, because we didn't really see. Oh, okay, Goody having a little bit of a issue with his monitor.
Okay, so it is a hardware issue.
So maybe that's why he died. His monitor turned off. I kind of doubt it though. Oh no, another device issue. We're going to Europe again.
Yeah.
Or at least we're calling. I don't want to do that joke again.
Yeah, just let it go.
Yeah. I think it's time.
So, like, okay, so the referees, part of the reason why they stand behind the players is for moments like this where, for example, all gameplay is recorded, just so you guys know. So if Guti, like, for example, had a frame drop, they could actually review that and be like, oh, yeah, no, he dropped frames actually in that moment. But something like a monitor turning off or flickering or anything weird like that, like, if he claims it turned off, for example, the referee would have to verify that, right? Because that's not something that you can actually record or track.
Yeah.
I don't know if his monitor turned off or if it flickered or if it went black and white for a second. It certainly went into grayscale for a second, but I thought perhaps they were going to get a replay. Not entirely sure what happened.
No, I think what he did was he said that something went wrong, and they were like, "You just died, dude." And
yeah,
like,
I think that's probably. I mean, that's. Yeah, I don't know if the monitor was why he went forward like that one. Oh, boy.
Sick play from Karis, to be honest. And yeah, monitor or not, I think you're going to die to that. Man, that was an outplay, though. That was that was super clean from Karis.
The shuffle is what put him in harm's way, and then he decided, like, okay, well, I'm probably just going to have to burn ult here. This is not it. And then with Karis' outplay, he dies.
Yeah, and he probably just didn't see the Q, and so didn't have time to flash because he got hit by basically the initial hit and the return instantly because it was right at the tip.
Yeah.
Feels
you
bad.
gotta feel for him, man. You know, he's been around for this entire year. He's played a lot of his year. He hasn't done a lot of winning on it, unfortunately, but he is having a bit of a rough series here. I mean, look, he had his moments in game one.
He did.
Some defensive Emperor's Divides were okay, but
he had that one in top lane as well that was actually good. Like actively good.
I just don't want to take out my draft frustrations on this one player, but Live Sandbox, like we've talked about, comp is good, but they don't seem comfortable with. Sort of like to see something else.
I think comp is fine. Team doesn't know how to confidently play around it, right? Like with mid-game compositions like this, it is actually kind of difficult to switch your mindset exactly when these item spikes come in. Like right now, you've got Lucian Nami at almost the peak of their power in comparison, because there is that Gale Force and there is the Mandate. And so now you should be really wielding them as weapons, but you can see, I mean, it's just Diablo collecting waves in mid, and you're not really getting too much for it. So we're going to look towards the next Rift Herald in 12 seconds for potentially a battle. We do have an Infernal Soul this time. Look at the power of the dragons here.
The souls have been quite beefy tonight, huh?
Yeah, this is high value. Definitely high value.
Karis is once again going to get this turret. Like, there's a lot of deja vu going on in this series. Now he can teleport back into this fight. I don't think he wants to go on that control ward, but in the pit, there's another one he could go to.
Yeah, immediately just teleports to the turret, though. Makes sure that he is going to be here. Ward comes down. Karis knows that he's being seen as Nature's Grasp comes forward. Karis just going to find the Nami in the backline. Emperor's Divide is decent onto 3, but it does absolutely no damage. The Gravitum is gigantic. Locks up all of Live Sandbox, and they have just nothing. Charm goes wide, it does not matter. And Live Sandbox are done in this game, I think. It looks like they may have lost a bit of hope.
Yeah, and I think that it's been a good season so far here, honestly, for OK Savings Bank Breon. Like, this team actually looks pretty good. And yeah, weak opponent here in Live Sandbox, but the coordination is good, the team fighting is clean, the macro decisions are better than what we saw from them in spring. And yeah, you've got Karis and Effort in here, but even without them, they were looking like a better team so far in summer. And, you know, I'm not getting, into a point where I'm like, oh, this could be like a playoffs contender team, but I'm definitely glad to see that they have leveled up. And watching this fight once again, Karis just with such a great angle. Teleported mid so we could have the flank angle you were talking about. Look at this ult from Frim. The gravitum you talked about is so massive. And this fight, I mean, there's just not even a chance for the sandbox, not even close.
Just beautifully played. Karis there off to the side. Like, man, this is like, we were having a conversation on the Pogster. You guys can watch the episode. We were like, what happened to Karis, man? What happened to him? We remember having so much hype. He was so good that last season that he played in Challenger. He was, like, that was when Gen.G's Challenger roster was really good. I'm pretty sure he was on Gen.G in his last season. Yes, he played a lot of Lissandra, but still, he was just amazing. His Ari's been really good. Dayup now out of position as Nature's Grasp is going to stop anyone from being able to help out, but it's a decent pass. See whether the bomber's going to work out there, as Zanosh is now going to have perfect guns, but it doesn't really matter. Gets over the wall, gets the kill, and Karis wasn't even here. He was taking stuff.
He flanked so well, but his ult was like 3 seconds off cooldown, so he couldn't actually capitalize. I think if his ult was ready there, he actually just gets double knock up and they wipe and end the game at like 19 minutes. But he's not quite able, unfortunately, to set that up. Karis, though, going to grab double turret, looks like here, with the Rift Herald coming through for its first charge on Inner.
This is like 7 times the amount of kills that we saw in the last
game. I'm like, the last game was very one-sided. This game is somehow not only more one-sided, but to an extreme degree. I mean, yeah, like,
oh my God. Yeah, this is an absolute demolition. And you know what? This is perfect advertising for the OK Savings Bank. Because, like, if there's anyone that I want taking care of my investments, it's the bank that knows that Breon were going to be better this season.
They took their gold lead from game 1, and it's compounded in game 2.
Yeah, like, look at this. There's a whole lot of economic stuff that I don't even understand that I'm learning about. Thanks to OK Savings Bank Breon.
Yeah, it feels very secure. Feels like a very safe and solid bank to keep your money in. Keep your League of Legends gold in. The little L coins. It's really weird the coins have L's on them, but that's just how it is.
That's how it is.
That's what Riot decided.
Yeah. And there are coins with all sorts of things on them. And we support those ones. I want the one with an OK on the back. I don't want to flip a coin and call heads or tails. I want to call O's or K's. That's what I want to call. Like, Chomp going to come through here as that is a very dead Nami. And that's in the face of 3 people.
He's not okay.
Yeah, Karis looking for even more. Are you okay, man, bro? Savings Bank. Chomp connects again onto Dayup. The mind games are coming through for this Ari player. And man, it's just so good to see Karis with some confidence. And yes, it took them a victory in a very slow game in game 1 to get there, but man, it feels worth it. As we're going to take ourselves a inhibitor on the bottom side of the map. We're going to call it a day on that one. 3.2k lead for just the Ari alone. Everybody else just making bank.
I voted for Frim.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
And like the game isn't over yet.
I'm voting for Karis.
The Nexus hasn't exploded yet, but yeah, there have been some pretty phenomenal plays from Karis this game so far, as this is one of them, where he's able to get over the wall here, avoids, or nearly avoids the tidal wave. Actually doesn't matter.
Avoids the bubble though.
Yeah, gets out of the bubble, and does half of the health bar of Diablo as well shortly afterwards. He picked up a Magi's. He thinks he's POG, that's for sure.
Oh,
he's
100%.
He's on the same page as you.
Oh yeah.
It's a Magi's page.
I mean, I wrote it down. I think that Frim, as you say, has been great, and as you can see, this damage dealt once again. It's a very similar
even,
damage
yeah.
graph. I mean, it's a similar draft. It's a very similar damage graph to what we saw in the last game. Bro just understanding this comp very well. Oh, Raptor takes the Raptor. Had to see that one coming, didn't you? It's going to throw a sapling in this brush. And bro, I mean, we are dotting T's, crossing I's, dotting J's. They are doing all sorts of things. They are crossing F's.
Dotting T's and crossing I's.
Yeah, yeah. They're cross-eyed, and it's feeling pretty good if you're a bro fan. Oh, chat poll for POG. All right, put down who you think is POG, and explain to me why it's Karis in the chat, and we'll change our votes.
I'm not changing my vote. Because Embrage said Frim.
Ooh.
Some Raptor voters.
Terry, just being a little bit out there. Got some Frim fans in the chat. Like to see it. It's going to be Karis. That's fine. As in goes Raptor. Okay, Nature's Grasp going to come down, and look at the power of these wallets. They are just layered with so much gold. It is absurd. Look at what they managed to pull out of their safety deposit box from the bank. It's on a velvet little, like,
the base
setting here, and it's looking beautiful.
Falling apart to super minions stacked on this bottom Nexus turret. It is going to go down, in fact, and they are going to get the Baron buff. They could probably just TP to end on the bottom wave, but they're going topside for some reason. Yeah, this is like, it's just wallets, as you mentioned, and they could just engage from so far away. Look at the follow-up here from Frim as well. It's just perfect.
Yeah, triple knockup.
And, I mean, I actually, even though I voted for Frim, I do think Karis is going to get it because I know how the Korean commentators vote, and
they vote for the best player, yeah.
Well,
in the game.
I think you really have to have the subtle understanding that chat has to really know why it's actually Frim, but like, for normal people, it's okay to think it's Karis. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Or for like correct people that are correct. Like
I mean, you will be correct in terms of who will win, but like, you know, you just
and who is the most valuable, the player of the game, as it were.
You know, you just have to see the subtleties of Frim's play to really know. Like,
yeah, that's true. He does wield a hammer in a different way to what we've seen from some other blacksmiths on the top side of the map. On the top side of the map. I know that I am being outvoted on this one, and maybe it is just me being happy.
No, but I think you're actually going to be
finally playing well.
I think you're going to get the 2 for 2 though, because I didn't vote for Frim in game 1, even though he got it. And I think actually the Korean cast is going for Karis.
Setsuna's Frim's rock solid, like how you want your savings account. 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
The bank jokes are really coming through too hard. As Diablo, really nice Captain Jack there to make sure that they have a gap in the Nature's Grasp.
The Korean,
doesn't really matter.
The Korean casters also don't have Twitch chat open, so how would they know to vote?
Yeah, they wouldn't understand. The Ram is going to come through. It's interrupted. Oh, actually, just barely not. Gets the knock up as well there as he's just bellowing and breathing in this team fight. It's looking beautiful as finally Karis will turn up. There's the MVP, the player of the game. He looks for as many options as he can find as he's spirit rushing around, and Diablo is the one that falls out. At the end, by the way, that is going to be Goody falling down. Look at all of the summoner spells that have been used. Quickly, Frim, use your teleport.
Who's going to get the last hit? Is it going to be Frim? Oh, yeah, it was.
All right, so he killed the Nexus and therefore player of the game. There we go. His last ult was definitely good. Well, actually, no, his last ult wasn't great. But his last headbutt into the inhibitor was very good. I just think that, honestly, Bro played really well.
This was one of the most one-sided series we've seen all year in Challengers, I think.
I mean, outside of, like, the Lee Sin support game yesterday, which I assume, like, because that won, it's more one-sided.
Yeah. But I feel like, I mean, this was just, like I said before, when I was talking about them running back the draft lift sandbox, I was like, yeah, I think it could have been even worse if OK Savings Bank Bro actually were able to make some of those kills happen, because it was very close to being way more one-sided. This time, with a different top lane engaged champion, they were able to make the kills happen. It was more one-sided. And yeah, 13,000 gold, 13.5. The lead here as the Nexus falls, 2 deaths.
Yeah, this was really clean by Bro. And it just shows, like, maybe if you bring down a couple of your, like, main roster players, especially one with, like, 4 years of extensive experience. Like, 4 years ago, he was at the World Championship. Like, effort has been around the block. And even though, like, he got caught out in that last fight, you could imagine that that probably just gives him more space to micromanage team fights and things like this. Because you did definitely... I could sense an added sense of purpose than what we've seen from other challenger teams. And I don't know whether that's necessarily effort, like, because we don't have comms. I don't know what's being said. Maybe we'll be able to get a little bit of an idea of that. But
they were pretty decisive, though. I do agree. And you bring veterans in, and people do just, I mean, naturally shout call more because they have that experience.
Hard Zombie, Bro demolished Live Sandbox as quick as OK Savings Bank processes transactions.
There you go.
Amen. Wow. Like, as far as sponsorships are concerned, this one's getting a call out like none other. Oh, man. Maybe we need to start, you know, changing. Maybe we need to talk about life insurance more often when Hanwha's playing. We'll just have to see. As
Of course, shoutouts to Udi Bank, our main sponsor.
yeah. Shout out to Udi Bank. Are they sponsoring Challenger though?
I believe so. Yeah, I think
sponsor
so.
it all.
I think so.
Well, I'm going to. I could check to see who's sponsoring Challenger on my KT-powered phone that I have right here. All it says is Generations of Gaming. What's Gen.G?
I told you Carson was going to get it, even though it's incorrect.
I mean, it's a 10 out of 11. It's a. I don't know why you're laughing at me when I'm right.
No, I'm just laughing because it was so predictable. Because I knew that Karas was going to get it, and I could tell by the observing that he was getting it.
Oh man, so I could have frimmed it. I could have switched it to a frim. That's what Yundo's saying.
I just knew that it wasn't going to be Frim, but I wanted to vote for Frim. I thought it was Frim.
No, I can understand. I've been an Ornn voter before as well. But I think that Karas deserves the nod.
He played very well.
The fact that, like, in comparison to the last time we saw Karas play, this was like an extraordinarily, exponentially more massive improvement to how he actually played the game.
Oh, Yundo voted for Frim. That's because he's in chat and he knows the real truth.
he knew the way. So I apologize everyone for not being a Frim voter. I just had to be correct this time.
It's okay. No, look, I mean,
I would have been correct the other way as well, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
we would have just both been correct.
You just had to say, like, you had to go with the narrative of, like, Karas is gonna win, but Frim voters know, you know.
Hey, that way you can be right twice.
Yeah.
You know, even when you're wrong.
Because Atlas also knows. He just did, but he voted for Karas because he also had to. If he didn't vote for Karas, then the narrative, like, it wouldn't have been off script. Like, Karas would have actually won.
That's true. So I had to save it.
And yeah, we did see, of course, the giant Udi and Hang logo there.
Oh yeah, so it is.
I was like second guessing myself for a second, but I'm like, no, they're like right
and it's
there.
another bank as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So shout outs to our main sponsor, of course.
Yeah, so we had Uri Bank and then KEB because that's Live Sandbox. That's their main sponsor. And then we've got OK Savings Bank. And we just spent the entire game talking about only one bank when there's 3 banks being represented.
Not to mention
DRX with Shinhan.
Yeah.
Whoo! Who's Hana Bank going to sponsor? We just need to get all the banks in here.
Yeah.
You know, like what are the other main, like, I'm with Hana, but there's like other ones as well.
There's I'm trying to think of what banks historically have sponsored esports that like Shinhan is definitely one of the biggest ones, but I'm trying to think if there's like any that aren't represented here, and I don't think so. We
have all the rest, basically.
Yeah. I'm like looking at chat to see if there's any that they're not jumping out at me, but we got a lot of banks going on, which is usually a good sign for the health of an esport. Just saying.
Yeah, Shinhan, KB, Uri, and OK. It's nutty. We also don't have LGU Plus in the telecom war. Oh, it feels bad, man.
I have every bank that's in the LCK. I have an account with each and every one.
Yeah,
I
me
love
too.
them all equally.
Me too. Yeah,
except when Worry Bank is on screen, I definitely use them.
I put the most money into OK Savings Bank now, though, because I know that I can guarantee the savings.
Thank you to our sponsors. We're not trying to meme you. Please,
huge
please don't get us in trouble.
And if you are one of the 1,000-odd people that are watching, and you're a sponsor of Challenger, thank you.
Thanks.
No, that's
sponsors like you make this show possible.
Exactly. I hope you can understand what we're saying, given the fact that you are, probably Korean. And yeah, maybe it's time for us to have a little bit of a chat to you guys and see what you have had going on, because we have spent a fair bit of time, talking about banks and the video games, and congratulations to OK Savings Bank Breon. But maybe it's about you. Maybe it's about you. Are there any questions? I really hope that Bob Ross is doing all right. We haven't heard too much about his belly.
Did you see the announcement for that new Atlas game that is not actually a Persona game, but looks like one?
Not the Persona 3 Reload or whatever?
No, it's called like Fantasy something. It looks really cool.
Is it Phantasy Star Offline?
No, not that. I don't know. Someone in chat's going to know, but that looks really cool. No, not Persona 3 Remake. Metaphor? Yeah, I think that's the one. It looks very good. Yeah, Metaphor.
I wonder whether I can watch it like right now, or at least have a look at it.
I'll have to load really quick, but I think
I hope that if I look up Atlas Metaphor, it is just some of the metaphors that I've said in the past. That's what I would expect if I Google
I think you're gonna like it. So I'm just bringing it up, but
Atlas Metaphor.
No, Yakuza 8 trailer came out yesterday too. That was pretty cool.
Ooh, nice.
Maybe some Hawaii action.
Payday 3? What the heck?
Payday 3.
Didn't Payday 2 come out like 15, 20 years ago? Damn. Ooh. Re-Fantasio? It's
Yeah, I think that's
Metaphor
the one.
Re-Fantasio.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It looks pretty interesting.
Sega.
The art style is really nice. I'm looking forward to it.
Ooh, brought to you by the creators of Persona
Yeah, it's
3,
like
4, and
basically
5.
a Mega 10 game, but it's not.
Wow, did you know that Atlas made Personas 3, 4, and 5?
Mhm.
That's crazy that they made all of them.
It might shock you that they made some of the ones before that as well.
Oh, like 1 and
But I
2?
think
Surely not.
All of the, I think not necessarily 1. I'm not actually sure about that, but
Oh yeah, wasn't it
2.
like
I think they made 2.
Was there a Namco? There was a Namco one or something like that. It started off. I don't know. I don't actually.
We just don't know.
I did watch. Have you watched any of those like the iceberg videos? There's a dude that just does like come and like explore the iceberg of Final Fantasy or Zelda, and he like just goes into everything from like the whole
like
franchise.
the video game historian type
Yeah,
channel.
that sort of thing.
Yeah, I watch some of those sometimes when like I've already seen the news. I know what's going on. I'm like, I'll watch some old video game stuff while I eat dinner.
Yep.
Sometimes I watch that.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy it.
I like it.
Oh yeah, those iceberg videos are awesome. I'm glad you understand. I think I watched the Persona one, but I can't quite.
Okay, so they
remember.
were Atlas, but a different dev team. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So that's why like the director is similar. Oh, they even have it listed: the director, the character designer, and the composer as well.
Yeah,
those are probably the creators they're referencing.
Heck yeah, really really cool. Yeah, not skipping anyone upcoming. I might be skipping what's his face? Blade. Probably not interested in him. Otherwise, I think everyone else looks dope. High speed rail. Yes, indeed, Denunciator. You are absolutely correct there. Feels 2K. What do you have to say here? Karis and Effort play DK and T1 this week.
Oh my god, Bucket's
Ooh,
stranded
yeah,
in YouTube chat. We have to help him.
Oh, Buckets and Gloves. Are you all right? Oh, can you tell Twitch chat I missed them? You're stranded in YouTube
How
chat.
is he? Did he get like got by a Nightbot or something? What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. What are you doing over there, Buckets and Gloves?
YouTube chat's a lot
do you
better
need to
these
do you need
days,
us to
but
throw you a rope?
no.
Throw him a rope. Oh
Is
man.
Valdez in the chat? Can you check on him? Can you get him out of there?
Oh, they blocked.
it on
Oh, work Wi-Fi. Okay, fair enough.
Don't make
could
sure you don't
VPN to
get
get
YouTube
back.
banned because that's going to be a rough time.
Just so you know, like Twitch chat misses you, Buckets and Gloves, and they're hoping you can come back soon. Next week, we could hope, or at least if you're coming back.
Yeah, that's
in the middle of this
definitely what
broadcast.
they said. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they said. It wasn't just like Fs and stuff. There was one Bible thump, actually, like for real. You don't simply come back from YouTube
Yeah,
chat.
get around a little bit. He's
true though.
yeah, Twitch chat saying only nice things about you right now. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't you worry about it. Twitch chat always to be trusted.
Is
when
this
it comes to
the
saying nice
longest
things.
interview in Challengers history?
No, I feel like we're only halfway through.
Nah,
I don't reckon
it's
there's
pretty long.
I don't reckon stop comments coming. I don't reckon it's coming for like at least another 3 or so minutes.
I just really want to eat my dinner. I'm really
I'm
hungry.
a bit hungry
Yeah,
too.
I'm enjoying chatting with you guys, but we're gonna chat with you guys in a little bit. Like, let me eat my dinner first, okay? And then we can come back.
Maybe we need to get some thoughts on KT versus Gen.G. And also, have we seen what Quid's been up to on 100 Thieves yet? Have we seen anything?
I haven't.
I know
seen
nothing about it.
because I mean LCS hasn't started yet. So
Atlas doesn't get to eat after not voting for Frim. You know what, Gatoran? Yes, I do.
he actually does get to eat.
Oh no! Don't put a 2 there. Oh god. Okay, if this gets quoted 800 times, I won't eat. Okay? Call your friends. Get them in here.
800.
800. There needs to be a bracket.
Nightbot is on your side.
800
Nightbot's
of
going to
them.
prevent you from.
See, we got 4.
3 in a row. 3 to 3 though. That's a little bit rough. You guys
By the
messed
way,
up the count.
Mashed potatoes on neat is a great name.
Wait, they did it 800 times. Look at that. Oh my god, you can't eat, dude.
1,000? So it went over. MTBLI.
No, it's clearly 800. Look, it says right there.
No, it says 800, but like, whoa, 4,000, 420.69? That's a large real number of 1 million with Laugh Larry. You guys need to calm down. Yeah. Be honest, do you agree with no passive button policy? I don't know. Do you know what I agree with? Stopping the comment.
It's time to stop it.
It's
time to eat dinner.
It is time to eat dinner, but you know what? We're going to have a short break. When we get back, our final series of the day. We'll see you there. Don't miss us too much.